Goodbye YouTube, how's it going everybody? I have for you today a really fun PU battle that I had against my good buddy Mizticall. I'll leave his channel link down in the description. You guys should definitely go check him out. He does upload pretty good videos and is definitely undersubbed, and you guys should definitely subscribe to him if you do enjoy his content, because I told him I would get him hundreds of subscribers. So yeah, go check his videos out, and if you enjoy them, subscribe. But yeah, anyways, the team I will be using in this battle is a team that I got from my other buddy Jamvad, and I just stole it from him, kind of. I told him after I had the battle that I used his team, but he's also a very good battler, has some good content as well, so definitely make sure to go check him out as well as Mizticall. And looking at the team preview, Mizticall has a damn Vileplume, and originally Jamvad's team had Monferno over Luxray, but I wanted to use Luxray, and I don't really like Monferno, but if I did have Monferno, it would have definitely helped me out to deal with this Vileplume. Unfortunately, I did change it to Luxray, but I know that my best lead going into this battle is going to be my Dwebble, so I'm going to be leading off with that, as he's going to be leading off with the Fur, and I know that Fur's like to go for the trick, so expecting him to do that, I'm actually not going to go for my Stealth Rocks, but I'm actually going to go for a layer of Spikes. That way, the following turn, I wouldn't be forced to switch out, and I can just stay in and get up another layer of Spikes, as he is going to be forced to go for the return, because Fur really can't do anything to Dwebble, considering that Fur's stab is resisted by Dwebble. So he is just going to go for the safe U-turn after I got on my second layer Spikes. And if you're wondering why I outsped, it's because his Dwebble is max speed. So he U-turns on out into the Octillery, and I know that I should be able to get up my Stealth Rocks later on in this battle, just because Dwebble is now faster than his whole team. So I'm just going to make a safe switch into my Foolish. And Mizticall did tell me he over-predicted, because he thought I would leave in my Dwebble to get on my third layer Spikes. And he was about to go for the Hidden Power Electric. So yeah, that was really good for me, because now I can freely go for the Scald and potentially burn something on his team, as he does bring in the Vileplume, which honestly was really obvious. And thankfully for me, I'm actually able to get the burn. But this turn, I know that he might want to go for a Giga Drain or a Sledge Bomb, both which I'm pretty positive Dwebble can live, as he does go for the Sledge Bomb. And even if he had poisoned me, I still would have been able to live. So this turn, before he takes me out with another Sledge Bomb or a possible Giga Drain, I'm actually going to be able to get on my Stealth Rocks. But he actually ends up going for the Aromatherapy, which means his last move is more than likely going to be Moonlight or Synthesis, which means I don't have to worry about something like Sleep Powder or Stun Spore, and I'm going to switch directly on now into my Lairon, expecting him to actually go for another Sledge Bomb, but he makes a good play and actually goes for the Giga Drain just to be able to get a bit of HP back once he did take out my Dwebble. But the reason why I want to keep my Dwebble is just because I want to save it for fodder, or to possibly be able to get up my third layer Spikes. As this turn, I know that he is going to be forced to switch out, so I'm actually going to pull a double switch into my Dwebble, as he does bring in the Seedra, and for some reason I Rock Blasted because I thought that the Seedra would be a spec, so I wanted to get off enough damage to the point where he wouldn't want to switch out, but it turns out that he's just defensive, takes out my Dwebble after I missed Rock Blast, and I'm just going to bring in my Spec Simisage, go for the Giga Drain, and clean knock out this Seedra, which is really great because that's one less thing I have to worry about. Unfortunately though, this now gives me a free switch back into this giant ass threat, which is Vileplume, and obviously I don't want to take a Sludge Bomb, so I'm actually going to switch into my Natu, expecting him to actually go for the Moonlight, knowing that he's not going to go for the Giga Drain or the Sludge Bomb, because he wants to more than likely keep Vileplume at a high amount of HP. And because Natu is actually faster than Vileplume, I'm going to be able to U-turn on now into my Lairon, knowing that he more than likely would want to go for the Sledge Bomb, as he does go for it. And judging for how much damage Giga Drain did earlier, I know that I will be able to easily live it, even if he does crit me, which means I can just stay in and go for the Head Smash. And he actually goes for the Moonlight. I don't know if that was a misclick, or maybe he thought that I was faster than him or something along those lines, but I go for the Head Smash, and that does 50% to a Vileplume. Good lord, Lairon. I don't have any attack investment, so I'm thinking maybe that Vileplume is especially defensive. Luckily for me though, I'm actually not going to get paralyzed, and I'm going to be able to hit the second Head Smash, which means from looks of it, my Lairon can take this Vileplume one-on-one, but I know that he is going to want to be... I know that he is going to be forced to possibly switch out, knowing that eventually I will either take him out, crit him, or he'll just run out of Moonlight, so I'm actually going to pull a double switch into my Simisage, as he does actually switch into the Fur, and I'm thinking, alright, Specs Giga Drain, easily one-shot. Fur, it lives. It lived the Giga Drain from a Specs Simisage, and I live on 69, lol, but it turns out that my Simisage isn't Specs, and I'm actually Leftovers. So yeah, that was really dumb on my part, not checking my Pokemon before I went into the battle. And as he brings in the Nidorino, I cannot do anything to this thing, so I'm just going to switch into my Natu basically as fodder, thinking that he would go for the Ice Beam, but apparently Nidorinos are physically offensive, which I was not expecting. Luckily though, I'm able to live the Poison Jab relatively easily, and I'm going to be able to get off a decent bit of damage with the Nightshade as he takes me out with a Sucker Punch, which really isn't too big of a deal just because I don't really need my Natu at this point in the battle. Even if he does want to get up Stealth Rocks with this Lunatone, my team isn't going to be really too bothered by them. As this turn I can get a free switch into my Luxray because it's really the only thing on my team that can outspeed Luxray and live a Sucker Punch, so I'm going to go for the Wild Charge and easily live the Sucker Punch thanks to Intimidate. But then again, that Sucker Punch actually did do a pretty decent bit of damage. So he's going to bring in the Lunatone, and I don't really want to risk him possibly staying in and going for like an Earth Power or something. Even if he does want to go for the Stealth Rocks, I don't really care, so I just make a safe switch into my Frillish. But this Psychic does way too much damage, so I'm thinking maybe he's Choice Specs or something along those lines, and I'm just going to leave him Frillish for fodder because I honestly don't need it. Even if he does want to bring an Octillery to take something out of my team, I can easily just Revenge Kill it. So at this point, Frillish is kind of the least helpful thing to me on my team, and I'm going to bring in my Luxray because I don't want to risk the possible fact that Lunatone could live a Giga Drain from my Simisage, and I don't want to go for the Leaf Storm because that means I would bait him to bring the Vileplume, which could easily go for a Moonlight. So either way, Luxray was my better switch in. As I take out the Lunatone, he is then going to bring in the Vileplume, and at the amount of HP that he's at, because I am adamant, I am pretty damn positive this Wild Charge will be able to take it out, and thankfully I'm able to get rid of the giant ass nuisance which is Vileplume. And at this point, with his last being Octillery, even if he was Scarfed, I am Scarfed myself, so I'm going to be able to easily outspeed it and knock it out with the Wild Charge, and that's going to be the 3-0 victory in my favor. So yeah, in the end, that was definitely a really fun battle, and I really hope you guys did enjoy something a little bit different, nothing too serious. But if you did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to see more content. Make sure to go check out my buddies Mr. Jamvad and Mizticall, and with that, I am out of here. Later, everybody.